We will call the meeting to order at 4:09 on Tuesday, the 26th of April.
Yep.
2022. We'll start off saying that this meeting is being held in hybrid fashion, both virtually and in person at the COA offices. And the virtual part is to allow anyone who wishes to attend the meeting to do so remotely. If people in the audience wish to comment, they need to raise their hand on their screen. And I don't mean this way, but I mean up there, and be recognized so they can come in and comment. But only positive laudatory comments will be accepted.
That was the best explanation of the hand raise on Zoom I have heard yet. So good job.
So you're giving me a hand for that? That's good.
I mean, I'd
All
give
right.
you two, but we're virtual. So, you know.
That's right. Well, I can get two in there.
I was kind of
All right, so let's do a roll call. Karen Schultz,
here.
Rachel Boyer.
Here.
Lori Fairbanks is not here yet.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Kate Bliss.
Here.
Pat Wheeler's not here. Bob Blair here. And others in attendance, Victoria Flynn
Here.
and Chris Keefe.
Here.
Yep.
And I'm gathering Margaret probably is not.
No.
Okay. Very well. There was an agenda posted. Has anyone had a chance to read it? And if so, do you have any corrections, additions, or complimentary remarks to make about it?
Did you see it? The agenda?
I compliment you on its length.
Good job.
It was pretty
Printed several for anybody else.
pretty comprehensive.
So good for you.
Anybody have anything to note about it?
Good job, Kate. Oh, the meeting minutes, I have those too, yeah.
Good job, Kate. All
Yes,
right.
thank you, Kate, in my absence.
There we go. Talk of a summertime barbecue together. Oh, yeah. That would be fun. All right.
That's
So
rather informal, sorry.
do we have?
I was just trying to get it all down.
Well, you certainly did.
Do you want the job?
You asking me?
Okay, well, there we
No,
go.
thank you.
Bob's been offered a few times too, but he just won't take me up on it.
Yeah. Let's see.
Every time we correct him.
Okay, do I hear a motion to accept the meetings as submitted? The minutes as submitted? No
Motion to
motion.
accept.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, Karen Schultz,
Aye.
Rachel Boyer,
Aye.
Kate Bliss,
Aye.
Bob Blair, aye. Unanimously accepted. So there's your first compliment, Kate. Financial updates.
All right, so here they are as follows. Donations, we had $68. Expenses were $796.66. Part-time wages were $1,194.90. And then my wages were $2,529.56. So as of now, for the end of fiscal year, we have about $2,800 left of our expense budget. I talked to June about this just because, you know, we still got a couple months to go. She said if we're getting close and there's anything that we want to do, we can designate that it come out of the donations account if we wanted to. But at this point, we're not able to take money from the donations account to put it into expenses.
You say the donations account has what in it? Not the $68 that was just this last month?
No, it total has the last 2 years of older grant money, which was each year $8,544. So we got that times 2. I think we're looking at like 24,000. 8,544 times 2. Yep. So we have sufficient funds in there. I'm not worried. It's just, I want to use up the expense budget first because we're not getting that money back. It's going to go away June 30th, whether it's used or not.
And that's the 24,000?
No. That's donations. That's totally separate. We have an expense budget every year the council does of
Right.
12,000. That's what we're almost out of.
And what did you say is left in that?
We started with 12,625. We're down to about 2,700.
Okay,
So I took the liberty of just doing some rough calculations for the rest of the fiscal year, just of what I know is coming. And
Yep.
it looks like minus some of the variables like van, like if the van needs to be serviced again, gas, because we pay that once a month. And then any additional supplies needed. I think we're gonna have about $700 to $800 left of wiggle room,
And this has to
Okay.
be by
June 30th.
June 30th.
Yeah, it's the end of the fiscal year.
Oh, got it.
Because we'll get our new round of funding come July 1st.
and your wages and the part-time wages come out of
Separate accounts.
separate accounts.
Yep, so the way that our funding is that wages are one. There's subsections between myself and driver wages. Then there's the donations and then there's expenses, and that's it.
Okay, so you say the wages come out of a different account.
Yep,
And what's the balance in that account?
well, we're gonna need to transfer from part-time wages to my wages because I'm short $1,000 just due to the cost of living increase. So I think we're gonna, depending on how many hours John drives is really gonna be the determining factor. I think right now we're down to about like 18,000. So I'm not worried in terms of the wages side. It's just the expenses.
Okay. And this last month, we had expenses of about 800 bucks.
Yep. So
And you got 2,700 left and our year ends, what, June
June
30th?
30, yep.
So we got May, June. Okay, we've got 2 months.
So we'll have, we're looking at we have another round of postage coming. We've got Tai Chi and Yoga, that combined will be about 1,200. Our Meals on Wheel driver, we reimburse for their mileage. That's about 50-ish bucks a month, I'm just guessing. And then we have another driver I'm trying to hire. The only thing pending for her is her physical. So we will have to pay for the physical and then for CPR training, because they took CPR training outside of the town, because we're not offering it currently. So that's what I have for known expenses for the rest of the year.
Okay, run it by again. You've got the postage, you got the driver physical.
Tai Chi Yoga, and
And what
then
are they running?
50 a session. So combined, we're looking at 1,200 for them for the rest of the year.
Tai Chi and yoga come to 1,200 for the rest of the year?
Mhm.
Oh, just those two. That's not what the postage. and
No. And then postage is $335. And then our Meals on Wheels driver, it's gonna be about $150. Yeah. So like I said, we're gonna have about $700 to $800 left between, and then we'll have to factor in gas. And then, like I said, after that, I think we'll still have a few $100s left.
Should we be considering the yoga and Tai Chi at this point are suggested donations of what, $3 a session?
Two.
$2 a session? Should we be considering going up on that slightly?
It's up to you guys.
Oh, we did talk about that one. Didn't we talk about that a few months ago?
I think we were waiting to see what happened with classes resuming in
Oh,
person.
okay, that could be
Yeah.
it, yeah.
I mean,
What
They're
did Karen
both-
say?
yeah.
Oh, I said, I thought we've talked about that in the past. A few months ago, I thought we brought that up.
We talked about the meals and donations for the meals.
Oh,
I
maybe
remember
that's what
that.
it was. Yeah, that could have been.
Maybe
it.
that.
Because we
Mhm.
started doing the in-person classes again last month. So we haven't, it's not like we've been going, because with COVID numbers, I was really skeptical about having them be in person. Even now, still, you know, whenever we meet, there's always ventilation. There's always, you know, enough space for everybody. And thankfully, we have very flexible instructors who know that, you know, if things were to take a dive again in terms of numbers, you know, we need to, you know, go back to just all virtual, they're fine with it.
Doesn't that come with the territory? Aren't Tai Chi and yoga instructors supposed to be flexible?
You would like to hope.
One
So,
would hope.
I mean, what we could do too is, I know sometimes people kind of feel bad because they're like, oh crap, I forgot my wallet at home. We could even we could do it for the next Powderhouse too. We could even say like, listen, you know, if you wanted to participate in any activity in person or virtually, you know, you can always, you know, the COA would always accept a donation and kind of leave it almost open-ended. Because I feel like sometimes people get, we actually get a lot of donations from the van too. And then some people will feel bad and they'll be like, oh, I didn't give him money. And I was like, no, like if you ever wanted to, you could, you know, do a donation to the council as well. And, you know, then we kind of get some checks trickling in that way too. So something to think about.
Have you ever touched base on that subject with any of the other COAs in the area? See what they do or what they charge or take for a donation or whatever?
I mean, honestly, it just varies town by town. I think
know.
more and like some insist on it more than others. So honestly, I would say, you know, if you wanted, we could increase our donations. It's just, I don't want anybody to feel like they can't use anything because they're hung up on the donation either. That's the only.
Right, yeah.
So, because I know there's some services that other COAs or senior centers, they charge. And again, you know, that is something we can consider as well. But I mean, I know we have a lot of people in town who, some are fine, but some are not. And I don't want someone to feel like the money is the holdup to get them what they need.
Right,
Especially where everything else is really expensive right now.
yeah.
And many of them are on, you know, fixed income.
Well, we could invite them in lieu of cash payments to bring in zucchinis and tomatoes out of the gardens and stuff. Huh?
I mean, then
That
that would
might-
that'd go to food pantry, but if you want.
Well, it would. It would also go right to Watashiwa's mouth. Okay, so what is the general consensus here? Do we want to not fiddle with the charges we're doing now, or
Maybe
that
we table it.
everything's going on?
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
go
I was just thinking maybe we table it for
Okay,
a
is
couple
that your
months.
wish, board? Mhm.
I'm fine with either way, but if some
Yeah,
people
that's
are
fine.
concerned about affordability,
Okay, so let's not put that stress on anybody right now.
All right.
Good enough. We didn't, do we need to formally vote to table it?
I don't think so, but I mean,
It's something that we just
it's something I can, you know, put in an agenda again in a couple months if you want. Okay.
All right. So Tai Chi, yoga and van updates, how many people in each?
Then we're running about 4 days a week, easy. It's hard to say with the van because there's some rides where we're having multiple people and there's some rides where we're not. So, but I would say the van's being used about 4 days a week. Tai Chi and yoga is about 8 to 10. And then Tai Chi is about 5. So it's pretty average for both.
Okay. Is there any desire to or need to increase the attendance? I mean, do you think does it need to be advertised differently or more, or
I
are we
mean,
just?
I'm open to suggestions. I think at this point, it's tough because, you know, yoga's on a Saturday, and I think it's good that it's on a Saturday, but then there's just a lot of people who are busy doing their weekend thing.
Right.
And then we're kind of up against 19 Carter for everything else. So if we were to move Tai Chi, I know our instructor teaches at like 4 or 5 of the towns. I don't know if we can get a better day or time. I can talk to him. I just don't know.
Well, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens as a result of the questionnaire that's in this
Yeah,
Powderhouse News that's coming out, because that is one of the questions asked.
Oh, it
Are
is,
there
yeah.
things that you want the COA to be doing that we're not? And what are they? And also, I think the question is useful. It says, are you using services of other organizations in the area or other senior centers in the area? And if so, for what?
yeah.
So-
I mean, we do, it's interesting because we do have a couple people who come out of town specifically for Tai Chi and
ours?
Yogas. Yeah.
Well,
And
that's good.
then there are a couple people who go towards Northborough, I think. At least they used to before, COVID got really bad. So I mean, like I said, it's kind of I think it's kind of you win some, you lose some type of a thing. And again, a lot of things too, it just may be the convenience of timing. That there's some events, like I said, yoga being on a Saturday, I think as a whole is helpful because people can kind of start their weekend off with it. Tai Chi, again, it's during the day, so at least our people can definitely go to it. It's just like I said, if we wanted to change the day and time, I mean, we could based on our Tai Chi instructors' availability. I don't know. And we do, like I said, we do still have some people who are hesitant about returning in person to some of these events too. So unfortunately, I think that hurts a lot of COAs, not just us.
Well, when you say what the attendance is at Tai Chi and Yoga, are you including people who do it virtually, or you are? Okay.
Because I have to include them in my attendance. When we
Yeah.
document it, they don't care if it's virtual or in person, we still include them.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry if you just said this. Do we have more virtual than in person, or is it kind of a,
Tai Chi, it's split. Yoga, definitely more in person. Oh, yeah.
Yoga, you say, is in person mostly? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts or input or ideas on either of those, any of those three? Tai Chi, Yoga, or van? And what's the total number we're now putting in the van?
I told John we can go up to 3 at a time.
Okay.
Because what happens is especially with the wheelchair base, with the wheelchair support, if you have one back here and then you can space out the other 2, so they're not on top of each other and they're not on top of him. But I mean, we've had times where even today we had 3 rides in the same 2-hour period. So they all knew that for it to work for all of them, that they would need to be flexible with pickup and drop offs and that they may be sharing the van for a time, but everybody agreed. So most of the people now, I don't think we've really had any concerns from anybody saying, I won't ride the van with somebody else. But we're still mandating the mask policy. And I told John that's not going away.
Okay. Is he doing a wipe down of the van after each ride, or he is? Okay. And as the weather warms, they'll be going around more often with the windows open.
Like to hope. But I mean, thankfully the van's got good AC too. So that shouldn't discourage anybody either.
But I just mean for air exchange.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or we can leave the doors open. Oh, maybe not. Okay.
It'll probably beep. So that's, yeah. Just a general heads up about the van. We had another issue with it, but I think it is actually resolved. There was something wrong with the sensor regarding the fuel line. So we brought it down a few weeks ago, and then Colonial confirmed that there was a malfunction with one of the parts in the van, and that we would need to get it replaced. They would need to take off the muffler to replace the part of the van. They replaced it. Everything is fine. It was just for a good week and a half. The van was running on 8-9 miles a gallon, as opposed to the 20 miles a gallon it gets.
Wow.
So it was only temporary, thank God.
Yeah.
The issue has not come back. I told John if the van even sneezes the wrong way, I want to know about it because I'll call Townsend Ford because I think they do a lot more work on like trucks and vans and kind of the bigger vehicles. And just see what they could do for us too. But yeah, thankfully he took it out for 4 or 5 hours today, no issues. But yeah, it was just a giant pain in the derriere because we had to surrender it.
Pesky little vehicle. It's had a number of silly little
Yeah,
things.
it's been, I mean, I think that car has seen more time like in Colonial Ford than it's done a lot of other things.
Yeah,
And I mean,
Like a little lemon.
thankfully, minus the oil changes, we have not paid a dime. But it's just aggravating
Mhm.
because we just want to get the thing going. And I feel bad because it's like, you know, it's a lot on John, it's a lot on Peggy because, you know, then we can't schedule rides because then we don't know how long the van's gonna be. So it's, and when I know it's going in, I kind of tell Peggy just nothing for the rest of the day or nothing until this time of day, because I don't want to make somebody, you know, potentially dependent on a ride that we don't have. I would never
Right.
want to put somebody in that position. So, yeah. So, I mean, like I said, there was no issues as of now. It seems like, you know, he was able to fill up. It's burning gas more efficiently now as it's supposed to, but yeah, there was a week where it was like, he went, I think 3 times because I was like, oh God.
how long has that van been on the road for us now?
Well, you guys got it right before I started. So like June 2020, and we didn't start driving it until September, October 2020.
Yeah,
So it's not long.
year and a
I
half.
don't even think the van has 8,000 miles on it, or is maybe right around there. So I'm like, there's no reason why.
No,
It's not like,
reason I was asking is we did get it undercoated and they suggested that we get it checked and re-undercoated somewhere along the way. But I would say if that's all the mileage we have on it, that
no,
unlikely to be needing another undercoating yet.
no, not yet. So, so yeah, so that's where we're at.
Okay,
So let's
Whoopee.
just fingers crossed that van does not have to go back in until an oil change, because yeah.
right. Well, you could always put a sign on the side. We got this lemon from such and such Ford and, you know, they'll get right on it. Okay. Enough of
You
the
go right
van.
ahead, Bob.
No, don't suggest that.
No.
You should have incorporated lemons in the logo. No,
Yeah,
sorry, Bob's rubbing off on me.
Yeah.
Wow.
also.
It's always the quiet
Or
ones.
we could be serving lemonade in the van. Upcoming summer help is the next item on the agenda.
So we have a intern who's gonna be shadowing me for the summer. Her name is Emily. She is an undergrad student in psychology, and she's gonna be going for her master's in social work when she finishes school, supposedly.
Where's she going?
So she is it's not Franklin Pierce. It's one of the schools up in New Hampshire. I'm totally drawing a blank on it.
New Hampshire.
Yeah, she, her mom lives in Berlin though, which is how I came to know of her.
Oh,
So yes, so she is planning on getting her MSW when she graduates next year. So I have one summer to talk her out of not going to social work school. I'm kidding. But so yeah, so she's gonna be doing combo between social services and council on aging. Because she's basically, she's got a great attitude. She's like, I'll take what you can give me. So I said, okay, so she's gonna do a little bit for the council. She's gonna do a bit for social services, and hopefully, you know, I told her, like, you know, if it works out and you want to come back, you know, I can, as she continues to grow in her knowledge, I can push her to do more because she'll have the knowledge to do more.
Okay,
So I'm excited. So
so how, she's full-time for the summer?
no. She's gonna be here on Fridays,
Or once a week?
once a week, like end of May through August.
So you can take everything.
do you have
You know,
any
you can't use
specific,
her.
Yeah.
any specific COA projects or developing anything that you think she might be helpful working on?
I mean, I sent a draft of a job description or a responsibilities, you know, description to Margaret. gonna talk to her about that just to make sure it's ironed out. I guess that's my question to you guys. Is there anything that you would like her to do while she's here for the count, like, during her time with the council? Because I've got social services projects already set up for her. But if there's something that you guys want, I was thinking I could reach out to Northbrook and see, maybe have her go down there, 1 or 2 times a month, spend some time down there with the folks down there. Because I know that I don't think that they have any help down there on Fridays, but I could be with her and just, start talking to some of the residents.
Are you talking Northbrook 1 or Northbrook 2?
Both, they're both important.
Well, they are, but I don't know. It's easier to get people down to the activity rooms in Northbrook 2 because it's all in the same building.
Yeah, I'm just, if there's anything that you would like her to do, or if there's anything that you guys would be curious to see her take on, I can certainly add that as part of her responsibility.
Will she be starting before our next meeting? Probably. No?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I believe so.
Well, we're co-sponsoring a couple of events at South Common this summer. Is she going to be, when does her internship end?
Probably August, so she can go back, mid to the end of August, so she can go back to school.
So there's at least some possibility she could help out with the 2 programs at South Common.
Aren't they on Sundays?
Weekends.
They're weekends.
Oh,
So
yes,
she
they
can-
are Sundays.
I can ask. She's committed to Fridays, so I can ask. If
Oh, I
she's-
see. Yes, you did say that. Okay. How is she at fishing? Friday is normally a fish day for many people.
I will add that to my list of next question for her.
Right. All right, then.
We can all think about it and get back to Victoria if we
Yeah.
have ideas, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's no,
Kate, Rachel, Bob.
The only thing I
Karen?
can think of is this is probably too administrative, but our contact list, I don't know if that could be updated, or, when we get into the habit of making calls again, that might be helpful.
yeah. What I can do too is I can even email James and get an updated list too, because I know
Mm.
the list that we used for the COVID drive-through tests were valid as of like January, but they were still waiting for town census to fully be in and counted. So
Okay.
now that town census has been due, I can see if there's an updated phone list for the town.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the street list is an interesting piece of work, but aside from giving names, it's a little short on, it's not a little, it's a lot short on accurate phone numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know how that gets filled out. It'd be cool if the intern somehow had a magical way of finding out phone numbers, but some of them are deliberately
Sometimes.
not listed. Some of them are. some
Well,
of-
I think at the same point too, I don't know if it's mandated that, like on the forms for the town, if it's mandated that they have a phone number for you, because some people prefer just mailing, some people prefer email. Some people may put down like an old work number that they don't work at anymore, and then they think, okay, no, fine, that's a valid phone number. A lot of people now are switching to just cell phone only. So, we can certainly do what we can. The thing is too, is like, I know like the old phone book, doesn't include any of the new properties coming to town either.
That's
Like
right.
the Highland Ridge, the Rockwells, all that jazz. So that's also going to kind of be, it'll be an ongoing project, because as soon as we get a corrected list, Highland Ridge will be fully open, and then,
Right.
then the houses on Pollard Road will be open, and then, so it's just is what it is. But ongoing problem.
We could have our bike around town, put up house numbers and all the houses that are impossible to find.
Yeah, I've been
They
delivering
want to
COVID
be
tests. I'm with you there.
impossible to find.
What did somebody say there?
I said,
I
I
was-
think they want to be impossible to find. I know it's a safety issue, but
Yeah,
that's why some people do it.
well, I think the people who do it because they don't want to be found ought to understand when they're not found during a fire or a medical emergency, there's a reason for that.
Yes, I've watched ambulances turn around in driveways on either side of the
It's crazy.
Target driveway 3
Yeah.
times.
Wow.
Chris, is your understanding that it is or isn't the town ordinance that everybody's property is supposed to be numbered with numbers that are at least 5 or 6 inches high? Or is that just a suggestion?
It's not an ordinance, and it's not a requirement. It's just a suggested size for the numbers. And the fire chief really didn't think it was necessary to make it an ordinance. He doesn't want to get the hair up on anybody's back about it. And usually when he talks to somebody about doing it, they end up going ahead and doing it. So
Well, he's only got about 2,000 more people to talk to then, because that's probably how many have no numbers. It drives me nuts if I have to go find somebody and I go by the house 3 times. I go, what is the problem? Why?
yeah,
Just, or people who have the 1.5 inch high gold letters in their black mailbox, you can't see it unless you stop and get out and stare at the mailbox.
that's why they always have to keep somebody on the in the ambulance or in the fire truck that has lived in town all their life and knows who lives at every single house.
Yeah, wow. That's loopy. I think that'll be a cool mission for us to figure out how to
No tangent here.
at least get all the seniors' homes and mailboxes numbered. Anyway, that wasn't on the agenda, was it? No, it
No,
wasn't.
that was your suggestion for the intern, though.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
All right, my suggestion is I'll see if Emily can help me figure out how to keep these meetings on track.
Oh, there's an
Can help me figure
idea.
that one out too.
Powderhouse News, cost of postage has
All
increased.
right. So here's what's going on with Powderhouse. We talked about this at last meeting about the LPI contract, and I sent it out to you guys. So I did reach out to the company that does Northborough's Council on Aging magazine. It's called Senior Connections. So I reached out to them and I explained that, we were just curious to see, what they offer. Spoke to the liaison for that company. So for what we are doing currently with our Powderhouse, it's not going to make them any money. So he was like, what we are currently doing with the Powderhouse, it's not going to generate enough income for them to kind of make it worth their while.
Right,
But he did say that he does know a local printer that's in Mass that would be willing to do, 500 or 1,000 copies of printing. And it would be about between $550 and $650 per issue. They would still have to send the copies back to us at a charge of $50, and then we'd still be out postage. So at this point, I think it's just going to cause more hassle than what it's worth.
and how does that pricing compare to what we're paying now?
It's kind of, it's a little better, but again, still, it's like, we're still going to be dependent on somebody getting us the mailings. We're going to have to pay for that shipping for it to come here versus LPI where they ship it for free. And then we would still be responsible for doing the postage every issue. So that $335.40 ongoing. So it's,
We also have figures from Clinton.
I was
and
getting to that. Yep. So
Yeah, and then,
I talked to Joe. Yep. So I talked to Joe. He confirmed that for 700 copies, we're looking at about $522. And it includes everything, the postage, the mailings, everything. We would have to basically, if we wanted to do like the glossier coat, it would be $60 per issue. I did talk to him today. I said at this point, is there any contracts that we would need to sign, anything like that? He said that they wouldn't need to necessarily do like a formal standardized contract with us, but that we could come to an agreement if we wanted to pursue that. At this point, we had an issue earlier today trying to get our newsletter printed with LPI. We had gotten a template of a newsletter that had 3 half pages of advertising as opposed to the 2 pages that we have normally. Lori did it as the 3 half pages because we thought that that would be our new format because it looks better. Well, when we posted it today, Lori got a frantic phone call from the printing company. They were in a panic that the format was changed. So we got it ironed out. Lori got the paper, resubmitted the formatting to LPI. It's still processed. It's fine, but it didn't really leave a good feeling when Lori called and told me that.
Right.
Like this, again, it was something that, again, I understand it's a change, but it's not that big of a change that it threw them for a loop.
Right.
We do have to give notice to LPI by June 1st, and our next meeting is scheduled for May 31st. If you guys want to take a vote today on whether or not to renew LPI, that's fine. If you wanted to hold off, I would suggest we make a secondary meeting sometime mid-May, just so we have enough time to let them know one way or the other.
Yeah, I think we need to get our prices together. And I will say also about,
I do have the pricing here. I can email you what I have. At the end of the day, I would say LPI is probably going to be the most expensive. Again, depending on how many advertisers we get, it's going to depend, will help us with costs. But I think what LPI is looking for, it seems to be the most expensive out of the 3 options. But it seems like even still, if we go with LPI or with the Senior Connections local printer, we're still going to be responsible for doing all the folding and mailing. We're still going to be responsible for postage. We're still going to be responsible for doing all that stuff versus Clinton Offset. It's all done for us. We don't have to think about it.
and typically Joe has his father deliver the package to Berlin. So there's not, I mean, that part of it isn't an additional cost to us.
Right.
I think the thing,
And there's not going to be a lag because with LPI, with Senior Connections, we're at the mercy of them shipping it to us to then go
Right.
from there.
Yeah. I really, I mean, my personal opinion is other things being equal, or maybe it's even better not at LPI, but of the 3, I mean, I don't know much about the second one that you had contacted. I do know that any dealings I've had with Clinton Offset have been very cooperative, very helpful, and has got an excellent attitude, and he goes the extra mile. And, if there's a problem, you got a 10-minute drive to go talk to him about it, specifically, whatever the issue is. I am totally psyched about going with Clinton. And also, I mean, we would have done this with LPI as well. I think we need to beat the bushes for more advertising in it. And I don't see that is a mountain we can't climb, because we created the list that LPI never used.
Another job for Emily.
No, actually, that'd be more me. But what I would probably do is that, what I would suggest is if we wanted to do, if we wanted to switch, from LPI to, say Clinton, what we could do is I could type up a letter that would basically state, like, we are looking to change our newspaper services. Due to this, we are looking to see if you would be interested in doing any, doing any advertising within our Powderhouse news. This not only will be, we want to have our local businesses support our, be part of our, local newspaper. And we can type something up that's really nice and then send it out. Because not only I think like the farms and the businesses in Berlin, but I mean, there's even, there's even like other agencies or companies like in the surrounding towns that I think would be all over it. And we could really kind of branch out. But I mean, that's something that, and again, we could, if calls needed to be made, it would be between myself and then you guys about like, if they had like, if they were like, well, what does the Powderhouse News do? And we could say, well, here's the link, please go check it out. Let us know if you have any questions. And kind
Yeah.
of just say like, like, this is what we're trying to do. We are really trying hard to broaden our, our horizons and really make sure that everybody in town, particularly our seniors, are getting information about what's going on. And, we've got very
Right.
observant readers. Be like,
Yep.
that may be good news for you.
Yep.
And if we wanted to do like webinars or something like that too, to get, like if they had a company or something and they wanted their information out there, we could have like an informational webinar about like, why is this service important? Why is it needed? And it could be a win-win.
How do others on the board feel about helping solicit advertisers for the Powderhouse News? I mean, contacts that you have. Karen, Rachel, Kate?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
no.
yeah. I mean, it's
That'd
not
be
something
fine.
I've ever done, but I get the right wording.
I mean, and we can, and like I said, I think even if we did, a couple, if we had like some letters drafted, that may be the first step to doing it. And then, again, if we got specific calls, they could come through the office, but then if it was like, if you ever wanted to speak to one of our council people, I could direct them, again, to get really hands-on experience of what the council's doing. That may be, maybe a benefit.
Yeah, we'll have to
How
make
do you-
sure we
how-
let people
how do-
know what the cost is to,
That's it, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one thing that we will have to get settled with Clinton, is just how much advertising, how much it would cost per advertising and then what the options are. So
Right.
once that information is, once you guys have made a formal decision, I can go back to Joe and say, Joe, how much room are we gonna have for advertising? What does your spacing look like? And then what do you, like, per option, what does it include?
Mhm.
So that way people know. And then we
Well,
can go,
he's given us a quote on a per issue cost.
yep.
So that's how much advertising we have to have unless we want to make a profit.
Right, but what I mean is like, are these like $25 squares? Are these $40 squares? Are these $80 square? What constitute what? Like, is a 2x2 square $25? Is a 3x3 $50?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you
that I
have to
don't
set
know.
up a price structure. Sure.
right, that, exactly. And when we have that information, we can say, listen, like, we're looking to, I mean, if we can get to that 521, great. If we can go over that, then that means it may help us pay for postage, which would be phenomenal considering that's going up.
Yeah,
And then, even if it's like 50 or $100, that's money that comes back
all right.
that we don't have to worry about. So I think we could do it. I don't see, I mean, I don't think it's going to be an instantaneous process, but I don't see any issues with doing it. I think it's just, again, if you guys want to make a formal decision today, that's fine. If not, I would say we have to have a meeting probably before next official
Yeah,
meeting.
I
To just
agree.
get that just to get that drafted, because I have to get a letter, I have to get notice to LPI by June
Yeah.
1st. the absolute
Do the
latest.
rest of you feel
By
that you,
June 1st.
Yep.
I thought you said, June
June 1st.
does the rest of the board feel that,
1st, which is literally the day after.
That's why, yep.
does the rest of the board feel that it makes sense to commit today to making the change?
to Clinton.
Yeah.
I have no problem making a decision today. I don't know what we would
Mhm.
I don't
think
either.
about for the next 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the
Rachel?
idea of somebody local who's
Yeah.
reliable, dependable, and
Yeah,
there's an
and he's
issue
worked
there
with other,
close.
he's worked with other entities in town and apparently successfully.
Yeah, and
So
I
he
would
knows-
think too, that if it was something that they couldn't handle, I think that they would just flat out tell us.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus, if there were an issue with the other ones, it's how many people do you have to call to then.
Right.
So,
Yeah. All right, does anybody wish to make a motion to decide to make the change?
A motion.
I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that we change publishers of the Powderhouse News from LPI to Clinton Offset. We'll take a vote on that. All in favor, Karen Schultz,
Aye.
Rachel Boyer,
Aye.
Kate Bliss,
Aye.
Bob Blair, aye. So it's unanimous.
so I did tell Joe that we are under contract with LPI till the end of the year. So this would start Jan 1st.
Yeah.
He's fine with that. So I told him due to our, town procedures that we're gonna need to have some kind of a basic contract or at least basic agreement written up. That,
Yep.
you know, that states that, you know, they're gonna do so many copies for us for this long. I told him that in terms of contracts, like the town doesn't really want us going beyond 2 years. Just because again, you know, things can change one way or the other, but if it's just an agreement, we can say, you know, like, you know, if for any reason the council ever were to decide to change, you know, we would give you 90 days notice or something like that. Or vice versa, you know, if they felt like, no, we couldn't accommodate you any further. Because at least, like I said, at least that way we would have something solid that we could then refer to and be good with.
That's actually a shorter phase out period than we're giving to LPI, which is 6 months, 7
Yeah.
months.
I mean, I would think 90 days is decent because that's enough time, I would think. So,
Does that sound reasonable to you, Chris, based on other town contracts and transactions?
Yeah, unless they require something different, which it doesn't sound like they do.
Right. Has the town had experience with Clinton offset?
I have. When I had signs printed and postcards printed, I think they did a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, there's a good road to go down.
Okay.
Everybody should put on their thinking caps about who we can hit up for some ads for the Powderhouse News.
what I can do is I will send you guys out the information for the other newspapers as well, just so you guys have it for, you know, what we've talked about today. And then I would say, you know, like I said, we can kind of branch out. We have worked with some agencies, or we've had webinars with agencies in the past that have done certain, you know, things that would be applicable to our seniors. I can personally reach out to them and say, listen, I just wanted to let you know, we are looking at a new newspaper company. I didn't know if you were thinking, you know, if you would like, here's, you know, if you'd like to be interested in doing some, you know, advertisement on our paper, you know, just let me know, and even start getting the ball rolling that way.
If you would like information about your business to go out to a guaranteed distribution of 700 people, 700 seniors in the town of Berlin, I think that's a good selling point.
Yeah, and again, we'll still find a way to get it up online as well. So even if people would rather get the digital copies versus the in-person copies, it's fine.
Right.
Totally
I think
fine.
they'll see the ads even if they get it digitally.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that is happy dappy news.
I'm
Yay.
glad.
Yeah, me too. And as you say, the way Clinton does it, the whole shebang is done. You don't get it back and then have to put on stickers and fold them and put on the little edge goopies
I had
there.
so much fun that day, though.
Well, if we
Well, I
have,
know.
and the
We
good
can all
news
get
is,
together for a different reason.
Okay, okay, all right.
and what we can do too is I did order some more edge stickers. If there are any left, I can, you know, drop them off at Clinton, you know, at the end of the year and be like, hey, to use for our next one, if you need it, you know.
They may
So-
have something entirely different, or they may actually double stick the edges. I don't know how their
Oh my-
equipment works.
Wow, double sticker. Wow.
I get stuff in the mail that has triple stickers. It's a little annoying, actually, but apparently it would run through the whatever it is that they have in Shrewsbury that requires stick them on the edges of the thingies. Speaking of Powderhouse News, does anybody have any thoughts or ideas about future subjects to be covered in the 5 Ws, future people we should be asking to do a bio and photo?
I'll get
Future,
John, the bus driver, for the next one. He said he'd gladly do it.
that's good. That's
So I
somebody-
figured we should, you know, people should know who's picking them up. So that would
That's a
probably be
great
good.
idea.
Yeah. So I'll make sure we get him.
Maybe by
Okay.
then we'll have the other woman fully processed, for lack of a better way of putting it, and we could put her in too.
When
You mean
does this
the
next one go out?
town administrator?
Well, no,
No, the other
our other bus
diem
driver, the
driver.
per diem one.
Bus
Oh,
driver.
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Was
Do we
waiting on
have
the
any
physical,
new-
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any new other department heads?
Well, Abby's the admin for public safety.
That's right.
Oh, she's very nice, actually. I spoke
She's
to her.
lovely. I love her.
Yeah.
Chris, have we got anybody that the select board sneaking in on us that we are not aware of yet?
I don't know if you've met the new highway guys,
Fred is in this edition.
but there's some highway workers that have been hired.
Well, we
Okay.
got Fred, Jim. There
There's,
is, yeah,
the rest of them are new.
okay.
Yeah, that makes
We
me, putting some of the lower guys in the department in highway in the Powderhouse News at this stage of the game makes me a little nervous because they seem to have been coming and going pretty fast.
You know
Well,
what we
let's
could
hope
do? Well, what we could do is, if you guys wanted to, is maybe we could do like a highlight of like the town offices, because especially because the next issue will be like the new fiscal year. So we could even get like little pictures of like, here's your accounting department, here's the treasury department, here's, town clerk department. And just kind of, and again, like you can have a picture of like, here's highway, and we could
As a
offer. we could
drawer.
present it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's the
And then, like-
drawer, here's the drawer they put your money in. Oh. Or
So
I
not.
did not say that.
So Victoria, what about your latest volunteer endeavor?
Well, that's why I was gonna ask, when is this going out? Right, that's a great idea. Your intern.
Ah, yes, she is coming in the end of May, so I can ask her.
Or
Like an
even,
intro.
an article on the big clean out?
Yes. Well, we're getting there. You jumped us, Chris.
Sorry.
It's okay. Having a clean out day in town. So
Oh,
yeah, and
yeah.
then I was thinking too, we can even get a formal list, again, with end of fiscal year, we'll know like how many boards, committees, we can even just do like a grander list of like, here's openings if you wanted to be involved in your local politics. Just a general list of what's open, like what departments, committees have openings.
Yeah.
Mary
And-
has a running list for that.
Yeah, we can post it. If we need to. And then maybe we could do some before and afters of the office cleanouts. I'd be all over that, so.
All right, Navi. So we have some ideas about people to feature, any who, what, where, when, and why thoughts? Well,
Have we done all the local farms?
done all the local farms?
Farms.
No, no. The only one we've talked about is Cordelia's. You got Balance Rock. You got the Horsey Farm on top of the hill here. It's actually equestrian, whatever they call it.
I love driving by that.
I do too.
Ah,
I drove maybe the latest to drive that
So
way.
nice.
It's even on a clean street now too.
Berlin Farms.
Thanks to a
Um,
certain chair member, yes.
Well, he wasn't on his chair when that was getting cleaned, that's for sure.
I'm sure you weren't.
Okay. Berlin Seniors events. We have a couple coming up.
Yeah.
Immediately, the Tim Wheeler and Jan Woodward are doing a presentation at the 1870 Town Hall on
Friday.
the story of Cordelia's
This Friday?
Yeah.
life and the farm, which ought to be darned
29th.
interesting.
When is that one?
Friday.
Friday?
It's on our Facebook page and it's on our town website because you guys voted to co-sponsor it last meeting, so thank you. So yes, so that's all set. I think the only one we didn't vote on, I know we voted for Wheeler and I know we voted for Seacoast. I can't remember if we voted for Abby Kelly Foster, to be honest with you. Because I think
So
that one
we
was
did?
just I can't remember if we did or not.
No, I thought Kate said we did.
Okay,
I thought we did, but if there was going to be a cost associated with it, we would revisit the vote. Is that the right
Okay.
one? I'm thinking, I don't have.
yes. Yep, no, there's no monetary commitment at this point.
Yeah, and there was some discussion if that changed, we would revisit. Because I think Pat was uneasy with that. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Nope, so like I said, Bob can attest to this. I have not heard anything about any financial costs. It's more just, they may wanna, I believe that we were gonna try to see if we could either use the school or 1870 as a backup, just in case it rained. That's,
Actually, for both Seacoast and Abbey Kelly Foster, they're supposed to be on the South Common, but if there's a rain problem, then our backup plan would be to go to the 1870.
yep, so I can do that request. That's not a problem, so, yeah.
Okey dokey. Potential Memorial Day / summer barbecue.
Wait, when's the Seacoast one?
Seacoast was May 15th. Hold on, it's on my phone.
Sorry.
I can
No,
get
no,
it.
no, no.
Yeah.
Abby Kelly's June 12th. I know that one because it's my mother's birthday.
Okay.
So, and then I have, yes, May 15th is Seacoast.
And what are they? What are the Seacoast offers?
They're a band.
This is, okay,
It's like a jazzy band, like a jazzy swing band.
okay.
I know the
So-
stomping part. The stomping kind of throws you, yeah.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Then Abbey Kelly Foster, I think.
It's the 12th.
It's the 12th?
Yeah, because it's the week before Father's Day,
Okay.
which made sense.
Yeah, and what is she doing?
I have no clue.
Oh,
I did- I-
oh, because we're just co-sponsoring. Got it.
yep,
Yeah, got it, got it.
I
So
believe
what
it's-
about a potential Memorial Day summer barbecue?
What do you guys, we were talking briefly about it last meeting. I didn't know if you guys, I know, you know, as Bob can attest, Berlin seniors were talking about trying to have some kind of gathering. And now with the weather being better, especially now that we could do something outdoors, would, you know, again, not knowing what Rona will do, at least we can plan accordingly and, you know,
That the latest variation is called Rona?
no, it's just called coronavirus. That's the slang
Oh,
term.
well.
I don't know.
I see. That's gonna continue to be the case. I mean,
It
I think
is.
we ought to just plan and then
The gift that keeps on giving.
it is, it's wonderful. In strange ways. I mean, I know a lot of people who, well, I won't divert here. So, yeah, are we interested in trying to schedule something?
I would say if we were to do a barbecue or something before the end of fiscal year, that money that we spend for it is probably gonna have to come out of donations.
Out of donations?
It
Okay,
just might, we just might be too tight to, like, if, say, for example, this costs, you know, like 5,000, like $500 to $1,000, like, it may just be too tight financially for it to go out of our general expenses. It may just have to go out of the donation fund. Not saying we can't do it, just, it might just be too tight number wise.
so what are the feelings about this? Everyone's numb from all the excitement we've discussed already.
So
It'd be
you're
nice to
talking
do
actually
something.
Memorial Day.
No,
No,
it doesn't have to be Memorial Day itself. I was just thinking like no sooner than. So we could do, you know, something like towards like, you know, mid to late June, like celebrating kids get out of school. We could do 4th of July, though I won't be here. Like we could do something like that. Like if you guys wanted to do something themed around a holiday, or if we just wanted to have like a, hey, it's the summer, yay, barbecue.
Chris, are you aware of anything that the town has on the schedule for Memorial Day activities?
I believe somebody asked that question at the last meeting, and the suggestion was that we talk to Roger Bradley. So I don't know if anyone has talked with him
Huh,
as far as like Memorial Day events.
hmm.
The only thing will be is that Memorial Day is the day before our next meeting. So, yeah,
Well, the reason I asked is because I think the town has things other than barbecues in mind around Memorial Day.
yeah,
tend to do either a parade or some flags or some
Yeah,
Right.
I
ceremony.
mean, we could always pick a day like in June or July, and then we could always pick a rain date, you know, and again, depending on when this gets done, you know, if it's a big success and you want to do it again, we'll still have
Yeah.
the time, so. I'll leave it up to you guys.
I think it's a good idea to do something and then we can just figure out a date at the next meeting or.
Yeah,
What do we want to do? What suggestions are out there?
Well, should we wait?
Ice
till
cream
June?
social?
ooh,
That's nice.
Who doesn't love that?
I love ice cream.
Ooh, yeah,
Kate,
Oh, my-
you're gonna, oh God, I love it. The barbecue. sounds good for me.
Yeah, or, yeah, barbecue.
I mean, you do an ice cream social, you could do it on Memorial Day. That wouldn't take much
Both,
planning.
yeah,
Doesn't take
exactly.
money.
Ah.
That's what, are you saying both,
Look at
Karen?
you, Karen. Karen's suggesting, if we don't have to do an ice cream social on Memorial Day, it wouldn't cost a ton and it wouldn't take on a ton of planning. Cause it's,
I'm sorry, I keep looking at Victoria and talking to her because we're sitting here
Yeah.
instead of talking to you guys. I know,
fine.
focus, Karen, focus.
I'm taking tips from you, Bob.
Was I looking around? Okay, so which or all of the above or whatever, barbecue, ice cream social,
The only thing with the ice
wine
cream
tasting?
is we're just gonna have to be careful. It may have to be more like individual ice creams as opposed to us like scooping and
Mhm.
distributing.
Footsies.
Cause I'm thinking we
Yeah.
could, it could be a Board of Health thing if
Yeah,
we do that.
okay.
And then we would just have to ensure that the ice cream is sufficiently cold.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it would be cream, not ice cream.
right.
Yeah. how do you do
Cream
that?
social.
Barbecue sounds
Oh,
good. if that's a-
Or, you know, Karen mentioned too, like, we could, you know, even look in for like the cost of an ice cream truck, because that would be kind of cool, at least, you know, the transportation would not be the issue then.
How about a food truck event?
We'd have to get on that pretty quickly. I think they book up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
they
you're
do.
probably right, yeah.
So the ice cream
Unless,
ones do in the
I think
summer,
the
too.
food trucks, unless like the food truck stuff was heading more towards like fall, like towards like September, October, that would be fine. But,
You think they're all pretty much booked out for the hot months?
yeah,
Probably around holidays for
I
sure.
would think so, but I
Yeah.
don't have a lot of experience doing this.
Yeah.
So
Same.
is this something somebody wants to take on to explore and then come back to our next meeting in May?
if you would like, let me look into some pricing for this stuff, and then maybe that's the way we decide. If,
Yeah.
you know, if anything on wheels is financially feasible, you guys vote on it, go from there. If it looks like it's gonna be too much of an undertaking, whether it's permits or costs or whatever, then maybe we look to do a pure barbecue for the town and go that way.
Okay,
Makes sense.
so we'll discuss this further in our May meeting,
Yep,
all right? Motion to co-sponsor events, we've mentioned the ones.
we
with-
had did it, so Kate was correct. I forgot that we had agreed for Abby Kelly, so, yep, so we're good.
Okay. Additional events,
So, just coming up, I'm gonna be doing a Northbrook Day next Friday. They're not doing any more COVID booster clinics, and some of the residents are asking for help getting their COVID boosters scheduled. So I'm gonna spend half a day,
So that's May 5th.
6.
Oh, sorry.
6, yeah. So I'm gonna go
Is that
down.
one and two, and, or just one of them, and where?
Oh, Friday's the 5th. Is you doing it Saturday?
I'm gonna be going down there, just for like half a day to start. I'm gonna start with Northbrook 1 and then go with the 2, and then, you know, reach out to 2 as well. The calls that I've been getting solely have focused in on 1. Because I believe Northbrook 1 had 1 booster shot already, but then we've been getting calls in about second boosters,
Yeah,
while as Northbrook 2 only did the 2 shots.
they've already done both boosters? Oh,
No, they
did two
only
for-
just
no
did the 2
boosters.
basic shots. And they're
Yeah.
not planning on doing any more.
They're not.
No.
But that doesn't mean that we couldn't facilitate them getting one.
I can help them get scheduled, and I've already talked to John about it, the driver, and he said that he's willing to transport people to, if we had to take like a group of people to get their vaccines, he's fine with waiting there until they're all done to bringing them back, because that's been the concern with the Northbrook one.
Transporting them from where to where? From two
From
to what?
Northbrook, yeah, from Northbrook to the pharmacies.
Oh, wow. So that's the way it would be done. It wouldn't be the pharmacies going out and having a clinic there? Oh,
And we
Huh.
can only have 3 people at a time.
We'll figure that part of it out. For those rides, we may be able to squeeze in more, but
Okay.
we're just gonna have to see, how comfortable everybody is and how many, honestly, I don't know how many people are gonna want additional booster shots. I've gotten a couple calls about it, but I've got, with the help of one of the residents down there, I've got a sign up sheet going. So what I'll do is I'll work with them to see when we can get their booster scheduled. What type of booster, I'm asking them to bring like their COVID card, so I know how far like their last shot was, and
yeah.
their insurance information, so I can make this kind of as, as efficient as possible, so we can get as most people scheduled as
So
possible.
if you're going to one, where is it you're going to be at one? Because at this
The
point,
community center, the community point, the community room. Someone's gonna let me in.
someone's gonna let you in? Okay, because there's no
I know,
management person there now.
I know. I know.
Although we are close to, I think we're quite close to signing on a new management company.
Well, that'll be good.
Well, yeah. That's
So
been,
Northbrook one, you're gonna have a clinic there,
Not a clinic, we're
Yeah.
just gonna do a sign up,
just a sign
just
up
a sign up, yeah.
to then take them.
so then
that's
at
what
a
you're
different
doing.
time, at a different time, you'd go to 2 and do the same thing, do a sign up?
I will reach out to Crystal and see if
Yeah.
if she's had residents there, reach out to her about, people wanting COVID boosters.
Do we have any kind of information sheet to put up on their bulletin boards?
I can give them what I gave Northbrook one. That's,
So it's a flyer that says,
I mean,
sign up.
yeah, I made a flyer sheet for Northbrook one. I can tweak it for Northbrook two, I don't want to commit to spending time down there if no one wants it. So
correct,
I've gotten the calls already for Northbrook one.
yeah.
So, we'll just see what happens. I'll pitch it to her and see if she thinks that that's something that the residents will be interested in.
How
I've
about,
gotten calls independently, and I have gotten people booked independently as well.
and how about the Brook Lane development? The over 55 housing on River Road West.
I don't have any contacts for that one.
Well, when you go to when you've been at the Berlin Seniors Meeting, Ron Plotnicki.
Oh, he's there? Okay.
Yeah, he's a resident there. He's not, they don't have resident leaders, but he seems to know a whole bunch of people there.
Okay.
In fact, I can ask him about it because I have to talk to him about something else senior related as well, so.
Okay.
If he would be willing to sort of take a pulse of about how many people might be interested in
Okay.
getting that done.
All
Okay,
right. And then I sent you guys an email. So the state has mandated that Council on Aging directors, staffs, volunteers complete an LGBT training by the end of June. I've already taken the training. It's about 90 minutes. You guys are gonna have to take it too.
and what does it involve?
It's, so basically the course runs through Boston University. You basically just have to register for an account. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. When you get your account info, you can log in and it just prompts you to do the training. It takes about 90 minutes.
Okay, are you
Got that out.
emailing us the link?
Already did.
You already
When-
did.
I missed
Yeah.
it though. So when did?
I'll send
when-
it again. It's a LGBT training from the state. So I will send it out again. It's an online training. You basically, when you complete it, you pass, you get your certificate. Just save your certificates, and if you can email me a copy, that's all I need. There's no like formal test. It's just literally like a few questions here and there scattered throughout the thing. So it's not like it, and again, like a lot of it is kind of, it's very interactive, or at least it tries to be. So it's, yeah.
Okay, sounds
And then-
interesting.
Yeah, and then the final thing is that, as Chris mentioned, we're doing the clean out of the town offices.
Oh, yeah.
So, yay.
You're looking for volunteers or cheerleaders?
I mean, at this point, I mean, we're doing fine. I mean, the council's fine. I would say we're looking better than most of the other departments just because we don't have as much stuff.
Yeah,
So that's the thing. So I would just say, just be aware that there's just gonna be days where the town offices may be closed.
all
What I'm
right.
gonna do though is I'll make sure that, you know, if anybody needs anything, I'll still be here. I'll still have my phone on, you know, I can just address the needs as they arise. No big deal.
Okay. Chris, has there been any indication that any volunteer help is needed with the
I
clean out
haven't.
stuff, or is that pretty much up to the departments because they'd know what is needing to be cleaned or can be dumped?
I think they're leaving it up to different departments to do their own areas. Is that correct, Victoria?
To my knowledge, yes.
And then if there are boards or committees that have a lot of stuff, they need to probably figure out when they can, of those days, or, you know, some other time even, I suppose, they need to go in and clean up their stuff. And this includes things like Scott suggested everybody clean up their inbox and their computers.
I already
Right.
did that for the COA, by the way. I already did it.
Good.
That take.
Oh, it only took me an hour. So what I did was that, because everything for, you know, emails are still technically public record, I just did like an archive email for the different fiscal years. So everything that's in the COA at Town of Berlin is just this fiscal year. Then what I'll do is when we start July 1st, I'll just add FY23 and put all those emails in for FY22. So we still have them. And then
Good.
I've done the same thing for mine. So we're set.
Yeah,
Every
I
time
don't
I-
know of anything else they need.
Yeah, we don't, I mean, beyond our room here, we have nothing scattered throughout the building, and I've already gotten rid of what we don't need.
And there's
What's in
nothing, is there anything related to Council on Aging at the 1870 or anywhere else?
I don't think so. I'll double check with Sandra, but I think everything that Holly had moved over. At least I
Okay.
thought it did.
Yeah, it's
I'll
worth
double check.
checking because Holly did have stuff in that office.
Stuff over there.
Yeah, I'll check.
So with all that extra space, are we going to be able to combine departments, Chris, and just have 2 or 3 departments in one of those office spaces now that so much other stuff in there is gone?
Well, I think the goal of this originally was to clear out some of the buildings so that they could have a use rather than just storage,
Yeah, yeah.
like the old firehouse and the old highway barn and those kind of things. So it's kind of all buildings now.
Yeah, I mean, the van is still stored at the highway barn and our extra
Yeah.
chairs are down there, but it's only taking up a fraction of the spot. Like, we don't have anything upstairs or anything like that. It's just so that's the only other building in town where where the COA has any property.
Mhm.
Which highway barn, the old one or the new one?
Old one.
The old one.
The
Okay.
old one, but I'm sure they're going to try and do some cleaning out of the new one too, I suppose.
I would think, yeah. Though Fred is very organized. His office is like, it's like mine. It's like,
Good.
it's impressive. He does an excellent job.
Goody.
No,
All
that's
right.
Officer Goody.
Anybody have any other business you would like to discuss? Any other problems you'd like to solve? Any other
Or that
brains
we want you to
you'd like to
solve.
share? Anything from the select board that you need to toss our way, Chris?
No, I just enjoy attending your meetings, and I try to take back as much as I write down here. You know, between your jokes, Bob, you know, I try to get something written down so I can tell them what you're
Something
doing.
Other than COA comic relief.
Right.
Yes. You gotta keep it light.
Victoria said something, Bob said something, voted. Yeah.
Bob made another joke.
Yeah.
Bob was at one of the meetings where I was telling the report, and he said, "No, Chris, that's wrong." So I hope I'm getting them accurate now.
Well
Oh,
done.
good.
All right, no other new business? Our next meeting is Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. Anybody in our virtual audience who has not raised your hand or wants to raise it? We have uninteresting meetings. Nobody attends them, so no one's raising their hand. All right then. I
Speak
would
for
entertain-
yourself.
Okay. I say I make uninteresting jokes and nobody attends the meetings to hear them. So the next meeting is then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Very good. Motion is made and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor? Kate,
Aye.
Rachel,
Hi.
Karen,
Aye.
Bob, aye. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.